just left practice there.
It's good evidence. Isn't it?
Yeah, no question. Appreciate you guys staying and your patience here. We just got done with practice and film. Obviously we felt, I felt really good about how we ended our road swing there. Was happy for the guys that we were able to dig one out. Thought it was a great game. I said that after the game. Thought both teams really performed well offensively. We took a look at the film. I think, the guys today would tell you they were pretty disappointed about how we played defensively. I did not think we were very good defensively. We made a lot of mistakes, certainly not to take anything away from Northwestern. There are things we can clean up and will clean up. We already started to work on that today. But at the end of the day, we made too many mistakes on that end of the floor, and we got to be better there. Offensively, I thought it was one of our best performances of the year. I thought we were really good. I thought we shared the ball. I thought we moved the ball. Thought we screened well, thought we executed, thought we had a lot of purpose in what we were doing on the offensive end, thought we played well together. And then obviously, you make shots as a result of those things, then it looks even better. Hopefully we can continue to move forward on that end of the floor as well. Guys are obviously, we took yesterday off after that, 10 out of 14. I thought that they came back today very mentally refreshed, very excited to practice and get better. Very excited about obviously our opportunity to play a good Indiana team on Sunday. Obviously offensively, Indiana poses a lot of problems with their personnel, and Coach Green does a good job of putting those guys in position to be successful. They're smaller than most teams that you would play in terms of 1 through 5, but at the same time they also have the ability to go big if they want to do that. But I think it makes them obviously fast in transition, very dangerous and explosive offensively. So we know it's going to be a heck of a challenge. We know we have to be a lot better defensively than we were on Wednesday in Evanston. Questions?
Just 3 games in, you get 2 without Ray. I guess how has your team kind of adapted and changed without him the last couple of
years? Well, as you know, Jeremy, because you follow us, we've changed quite a bit. Not just that, but even spring until now, we've changed. We've been a chameleon a little bit. But I think great teams have an ability, programs have an ability to do that, so we've not used that as an excuse at all. And we've talked a lot about having the next guy step up, getting it done by committee, figuring it out, coming up with solutions, being adaptable, being willing to adjust. And our guys have been very open-minded to that. It helps when you have a captain, certainly of the leadership ability of Egwu. He can really rally those guys, really connects our guys. And does a great job of that, both on the court and off the court, both during games and during practices. So he really deserves a lot of credit for our team being as adaptable as it has been, and being able to bend without breaking. So we continue to learn more about how we need to play with this particular group. I thought we took a step in the right direction Wednesday.
Look at one game where shots go through the hoop, do for Cosby.
Well, hopefully it does a lot for him, but he's been doing a lot. We were laughing today. He took another charge in the game, and we put it on there as a motto, and some guys were laughing. They said, Coach, he never took a charge in Seton Hall in his entire career, and he's now taken several. And then does some great things defensively for us, guarding the ball, competes, and he digs out rebounds. He's dug out rebounds and big wins for us. So I think the thing with him is he understands there's more to the game than just that. He's learned that being here the 2 years. Now you add the shot making to it. Obviously, you see the ball go in as a shooter. I think that certainly gives you confidence, or more confidence in that area, to work in concert with the other things that he's been doing really well. So I thought that was encouraging. And anytime you see the ball go through, Jeremy, I don't care who you are, I think that breeds some confidence.
Is it more kind of how you pictured your offense to go a little bit with him knocking out some shots? Mott had some big shots for you in that game, and some other guys.
In that particular game, yeah, but back in the spring, if you said how'd you envision something, then one guy, then you envision it, then another guy, then you envision it, then another guy, then, which is kind of what Jeremy was talking about earlier. You got to be adaptable, and we've had to be a chameleon a little bit, and so goes life and basketball, and you got to be able to adjust and be adaptable. And I'm just proud of the way our guys have handled themselves, through the stretch of being on the road, through the stretch of some injuries and some different things with the roster, and they've just been so positive. But again, I think that goes back to leadership, and it goes back to Egwu.
What does it do for you? I know you were excited after the Maryland game about the crowd and what that did for you guys. What does it do now being back home and having a
Yeah,
crowd
I was
behind
told
you?
today it's going to be a sellout, so we need them, and I thought our fans sensed it last time that we needed them. I thought they were phenomenal, and we need them tomorrow to be our sixth man. I know Pete Carroll talks a lot about the games in Seattle, the 12th man. We need them tomorrow to be our Sunday, excuse me, to be our sixth man. And they've done that a lot of times for us. Certainly not to say that the last time against Maryland was the only time, but you just really felt it. The weather was 30 degrees below with wind chill and ice, and they could have had all kinds of excuses, and 12,000 plus showed up with that type of weather. That was incredible. And it felt like there was about 20,000 in there. So our fans deserved a lot of credit for that one, and hopefully they'll come and be that sixth man on Sunday.
I know you've talked about the Skrulings 4 or 5 on the road. Now I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but you've got 4 of the next 5 at home, starting with game Sunday. Is that kind of refreshing for the guys to get to know that they're going to be playing a lot of games back home?
I don't know. We're trying to take it one game at a time. I was proud of the way they handled that stretch. I really did think they were warriors from a mindset perspective. They had a lot thrown at them, had to deal with a lot of adversity and some success as well. But for us right now, we've talked about it kind of being a 2-game homestand. And, all we've talked about obviously is, Indiana. You watch them on film, you realize that's enough to talk about right now. Obviously they're very, as I said earlier, very explosive offensively. I think they're a load on that end, do a great job, and then defensively they mix match their defenses, and they do a good job of that as well. So that's going to be the challenge in front of us, and that's what we're most concerned about.
You were talking before when I asked you about kind of this team and how it's adapted. Is there a different blueprint for this team to have success than what you'd envisioned before?
Sure. We've made some of those changes in game management. We've made some of those changes in game planning, and I think our job as a staff is to try to take the guys we have, Jeremy, and get the absolute most out of them and try to put them in the best position to be competitive and win basketball games. And that's certainly, we're not perfect, but that's certainly what we're trying to do, working very diligently, have a great staff to put different things together. And I think I've got a great staff. They've done a great job of adjusting, coming up with great suggestions and ideas. And, we'll continue to do that. I mean, it's our job to do that. So, we're excited, obviously, about the direction that we're going. We just got to take it one day at a time, and the cards that are dealt to us, we got to play those cards.
You play some good teams with some good backcourts. Have you had one as explosive as Blackman and Farrell are going to be?
We played some good teams. You're right, good teams with good backcourts. They're right up there. I mean, Farrell and Blackman obviously are very explosive, both, combining for around 32 points per game, but they combine for more than just points. I mean, I think they give them energy on offense. I think, you watch Farrell, a lot of times he guards the other team's best player on defense. I've always respected his competitiveness in coaching against him in the time that I've been here. And then Blackman's elite level shot maker and has been that for him. That's hard to do as a freshman, but obviously he's a terrific talent.
They lost Perea for this game, but what kind of challenges do they have? I mean, they kind of go small, but they kind of have athletic guys up front.
They do. They've been going small anyway as a part of their, lineup throughout games in the season. So, they, let other guys fill in. I mean, that's all we can do. It's all he can do, all I can do when those situations occur. Does it make them even more inclined, Jeremy, to be small? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't coach their team, but they play that lineup anyway. But they also have the ability to go big with some bigger guys as well. So I think, their versatility on offense, I think, is what makes them, partly what makes them difficult to defend.
It sounded like the other night you liked what you got from LaRon. How has he handled the ups and downs of college basketball?
Yeah, LaRon's been really good. He had another great practice today. He's just making fewer and fewer mistakes every day, understanding more and more what he's supposed to do, how he's supposed to do it. I'm very excited about his growth and development. He didn't pout. A lot of guys would do that in his situation, and I'm expecting big things from him, moving forward, not only this year but even beyond. I just like the way he's approached everything, because a lot of times guys certainly of his level. He's a really good player, and I think he's got a chance to be even better moving forward. Can have a tendency to listen to negative noise, but he's been great. I love coaching him, love him as a kid. I think he's got a chance to be really special, and a lot of it's because of his mindset and the fact that he is such a team guy. He understands what he has to improve on. He's worked very hard at it, and we've been on the same page with him. So I applaud him a lot. Very similar to Nunn in that regard last year, Marcus, when we talked about him in a very similar circumstance.
Speaking of Kendrick, is it more mental or physical with him? His kind of aggression, he seems more comfortable.
I don't know. I think the game-by-game basis, I think he's been pretty aggressive throughout the season. I thought the other night he got in a groove. Guys recognized that. We ran some things for him. Guys got him the ball. They screened well for him. It was a total team effort on offense. I thought Morgan's screening was unbelievable. He got guys so many shots the other night. That doesn't show up on a box score. I thought he was terrific in that aspect of the game. So there's a lot of things that go into creating a quality shot. Certainly in this league, where everyone's well scouted. Defenses don't give you anything easy. And I thought our guys did a lot of those little things well on Wednesday. Questions from the phone lines?
Hey guys, Mark. How are you?
Good.
John, is this the best free throw shooting team you've ever coached?
Trying to jinx us, Tup? Goodness gracious.
I was worried about that.
Don't do that. I don't know. I'd have to look. Obviously, that's a objective question. I'd have to look at my 7 teams and see what the percentage they shot, and to be able to answer that off the cuff without looking at the previous 6, I'd probably say, yeah. I think statistics show that. That and taking care of the ball are 2, things that we've done really well and that are a big part of execution.
Because, you're going to play probably a lot of close games, always works out that way in the league. You talked about finishing games, and the other night was one of those games where I think you hit 10 out of 11 free throws down the stretch. I mean, it's a weapon, isn't it, to be able to step up there?
It is. That and taking care of the ball, I think are big. And we did both those things, obviously really well on Wednesday. And I think it's a big, if you said to a coach, what are keys to finishing? There's several things. Those certainly aren't the only 2, but I think most coaches would say taking care of the ball is certainly one of those things. And, getting to the line and knocking them in would be another. And, fortunately, and hopefully you didn't jinx us, Tup, we've been pretty good at both of those things.
John Hayes, thank you, Steve. I think we all know that Tuff just jinxed you. I have a question about John. I've sort of theorized that, having played all that high school ball with such a dominant player like Parker might, have slowed his, I don't know, the development of his instincts, just like grab control of the game, especially when he's playing well. Do you agree with that at all? Do you think it's, he just sort of had to learn that at the college level, unlike a lot of college players?
I don't know. Ken's a guy that always plays the right way. That's one of the things I love about him is that he's won gold medals, state championships. He's a winner. He's played with great players, against great players. I don't know, Steve, if that would be, I'm not sure. Obviously it sounds good. It could be, but, I just think he plays the game the right way. The other night, obviously, he took advantage of the opportunities that presented themselves. We ran some things for him. Guys did a good job of recognizing he had the hot hand, but, Ken's a willing passer. He plays the right way, which is part of being a winner. I don't know if that slowed him down at all. For us, and I've said this from the beginning, and obviously Ray was, pretty dominant prior to his injury, but, even at that, I thought we had a blend of guys that could shoot and score, and we necessarily weren't going to be a team that was going to be like, hey, Kendrick had 25 the other night. He didn't get 25 on Sunday. What's wrong with Kendrick? That's not how we play. So I think some of that is, I think some people read into that probably a little bit too much. The main thing is I want him confident and aggressive to make the play that's in front of him that needs to be made for our team. And I thought the other night, You know, he did that. Thought his aggressiveness on the offensive end certainly helped us win the game. Him and Cosby both.
One more for me. You talked about Cosby improving in areas that aren't about shot making. Where is Starks in that regard? How's he coming along?
Stark's been solid. He's been solid defensively. He's thrown his body around even more than I thought he would. I've applauded him for that. And I think he can still, he'll be the first to tell you, maybe make a few more physical, nasty plays for us. But he's really improved in those areas a great deal from the time he's got here until now. And you know, I appreciate the way he sacrifices his body, blocks out, defends, and you know, he's done some good things for us there as well. Both those guys, I think, have really grown and matured beyond just being offensive basketball players.
John, one more from Mr. Jenks here. Have you thought back? Have you ever had a game that you've coached in, assistant or head coach, where you had no ball handling or passing turnovers like you did the other night? That seems really rare.
Yeah, I can't recall one, Tup. Again, I'd have to look back. I certainly don't want to be inaccurate, but not that I can recall. I thought we did a good job of that. We moved the ball well. But our guys will tell you, it's kind of an expectation. So one thing we have done very consistently at an extremely high level for 3 years, nationally. So it's kind of like it's who we are, you know. And I think our guys expect to take good care of the ball. They understand we're not going to play perfect. If we want to make mistakes, we want them to be forced or aggressive mistakes. And we always talk about, you know, trying to play with around 10-ish. You know, fortunately the other night for us, we played with 3. You know, if I could bottle that up, Mr. Jenks, I'd take that again.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anything else on the phone line? Or anything final in the room for?
Okay, guys, appreciate your patience. Thanks.